Welcome to the show, Paradigm Review Show. Today we have Nobody, Bob Odenkirk. I believe it is 2021, rated R, vigilante action crime film, which is like what we like to do best here at Paradigm Review. Check out our extended deep dives on John Wick 3 and all the other various things we've done, which is several and many. So yeah, this movie was awesome. Seen the trailer, was trying to get down there through the theater, and we all know the whole theater situation we've all been dealing with. So I finally did make it to this one at the theater. It's like my first time there in a while. I was kind of blown away by this. I think it's pretty awesome, first and foremost.
Definitely.
Especially
with Bob Odenkirk on it too, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. So if you've seen my El Camino review and my rant about Better Call Saul and Bob Odenkirk, that was no disrespect to Bob Odenkirk. I still think he's fire. I think he's fire in Breaking Bad. Mr. Show, hilarious. He has tons of awesome stuff and funny stuff that I like. Better Call Saul is just not part of that list. But here's where he did come up and was fire. Nobody. Fire film. Want to make sure we get this highlighted for the channel. Like I said, vigilante action revenge films is what we do best here. We try to bring you guys the best in action and violent R-rated non-SJW films, which this is. Shout out to Bob Odenkirk. This is like his first action, if I'm not mistaken, Mac. This came out March 26th. Ridiculously badass film. I just clicked off of it, but that's okay. And yeah, I wanted to bring this to the boys' attention. Mac, if you want to just lead us off with your initial thoughts, and then I can follow up on that.
For people that know who Bob Odenkirk is, he dates way back into doing comedy, obviously, when he did Mr. Show. But when people seen Mr. Show and all that, it was like a real, off the wall, gritty, no holds barred, uncensored type comedy,
sketch comedy show,
sketch comedy show, exactly. It was, I think it was aired on HBO, I believe. Basically it just shows how dirty he can be as a comedian, but that dirtiness, grit that he gives also, you can transcend into other things like Breaking Bad when he did crime and all that, playing as a lawyer, Better Call Saul, obviously. And now he's doing like Nobody, which transcends into more action, criminal type, slash comedy slash, it's like a whole mixed bag, but mostly it's action though, on this one. And the character that he plays, this is something I think is well fitted for him, like just being that everyday type of guy, and then more unravels of who he really is. And at first he's this boring type character, but then all of a sudden you see for him for what he is, and
add more depth to it,
and then he comes out and brings out his true colors, in the very end. And also, I say this was a very entertaining film, especially watching him, from going from one part of the story to another part of the story where his character just totally transforms.
There's a lot of good things about this movie. I'll start with some of the things I like first, and then go to like what I think. My critique of this film is it's extremely small. There's almost nothing wrong with this film because it's ridiculously good. The editing is awesome. Original style directing. It's kind of like that new school close-ups, and just a lot of very clean, very high quality camera, clean shots, clean editing. All that mashes together. I think a great use of music. Definitely Falling Down vibes, Mac, with that whole everyman stuck in a mixture of Office Space and Falling Down, guy stuck in his work routine and, wants to break out of it, just general American worker bee routine driving you insane kind of concept. And, it's just there's tons of awesome things about this film. Based on what this was my initial impression of it, is based on what they show you with the trailer. Is like they show you a lot of fighting, so I expected a lot of fighting, but there's actually probably really like 2 or 3 like big fights in this movie. which is not a problem because I was wondering where that line would be between Bob Odenkirk's dramatic acting versus his new action sequences. And if I'm not mistaken, he did his own. There's some behind the scenes interviews with him, a lot of stuff, but he did his own stunts. So I mean, a guy his age, first time doing action, first time doing his own stunts. I mean, that's a lot of appreciation for him, because I think a lot of guys would just mail it in. Nowadays with the stunt doubles and the CGI, you don't really have to put yourself at any risk if you don't want to. But he said, like, nah, hell no. I want my first action to be, authentic. And Bob Odenkirk dives in head first, which is sick. So I don't think it was quite as fast paced as what I expected, which is what I was telling Mac. That being said, I mean, there's a lot of awesome stuff. I mean, the villains are pretty good. I did find them interesting. They weren't just like, basic, like, whatever good guy is, going to God mode through the movie, Matrix style. You know what I mean? There's actually like a reason for everything happening, and it was cool. And I just really like the original shooting style of the action sequences and stuff like that, like right off the bat. I don't know if it's the first big fight, but I think maybe it is that bus fight back. Some ridiculous sequences there, just, use of, environmental physics and, things of that nature. So,
and I think that's what's missing in action movies, is the more like the use of environment, you know what I mean? And then just pretty much, especially when you're squaring off against like 4, 5, 6 dozen other guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And this was on a bus, so it's like very claustrophobic, you know what I mean? So
very close quarters.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It shows the best of what he had right there. You could tell like Odenkirk had some sort of like combat training before he did his movie and all that, just to like show his skills off, because he really wanted to like bring this role to life on this one, especially this action, government spy type character, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. So I say like, for something like that to take certain lengths like that, that's how you make a movie entertaining.
Definitely,
you have to like be that educated. So yeah, man.
Like Max said, you could tell he wanted it to be good. A lot of guys, even like we're saying his age, but there's a lot of stuff you could do where it's just like clearly, these other people. They take the action. Let's just say for what it is. They take the action genre for a joke, and they just figure like, oh, it's just a lot of special effects. It's pyrotechnics, and there's not really any real story. And you don't have to take it seriously. And like, yeah, if you go on set and like you get injured or whatever because you're not in shape, that's on you. You know what I mean? But you could tell that's like he really wanted to make it authentic. And obviously, I assume Bob Odenkirk is like a fan of action because of the same era that we all come from, which is the golden age. We'll say that's what early 80s to early 90s, action. I mean, that's the greatest we've ever seen. That's the standard, the gold standard.
Like, why do you think the Jackie Chan movies were so entertaining and all that? It's because like he wanted to make it live action, even though like Jackie Chan was a trained martial artist, obviously, but he took that and made and used it for cinema and made it more entertaining and more like true to life. You know what I mean? It's like but with Odenkirk and all that, just to do his own brand in this one, it still fits. It still works.
Definitely. When you said that, I was just going to say that, like the environmental use, I was just going to say, like, that's very Hong Kong action style. That's very Jackie Chan. It's funny. I was just going to say, like, Jackie Chan, and then you said it anyway. Our reviews are becoming symbiotic, and me and Mac are plugged into the same hive mind of 80s, 90s action film, but it's all good. To go into a little bit more depth of the film, back up a little bit. I really like that montage of when it was doing his weekly routine. As we were saying, it was like Monday, Friday, and it was just like him doing the same thing with his coffee, and his wife saying, "You forgot to take the trash out." It was just him missing the trash man every day, and like you could really feel that the fucking routine graining on you, and you really felt for him that suburban life was just not all it's kind of
eating him in. Like but that's the thing, though. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. I don't mind because it's a good like build up. You know,
yeah, the way they showed it was good. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the intro. I was just saying, like, I wasn't sure when it was gonna break into the action. I mean, obviously that first scene, you could see the tells of the pressure was building up, and that girl, those guys harassing the girl on the bus and stuff. It was very similar to Joker when those guys were like harassing the girl in Joker and stuff. But
that's true.
Friggin' let's go. Go ahead, back.
Now, I'm about to say, I guess he just needed that little niche so it could go from 0 to 60. You know?
Yeah, I feel it, and it worked. I like it. I mean, I think the movie's awesome. Like I said, for what I was sold on the trailer, I felt like it was going to be like a Jackie Chan movie, which is like 75% fighting, and Bob Odenkirk's not going to do that, right? So, but that being said, I have some extreme kudos, friggin' feedback for that ending fight, which I don't obviously want to get to now, but man, I think that's the best scene in the movie. Let's talk about supplemental characters. Christopher Lloyd freaking plays his dad, and it's freaking awesome, man. Like me and Mac talk about him all the time anyway. So
yeah, Mr. 1.21 gigawatts with a freaking shotgun, bro.
He's the go. If you're a Back to the Future fan, you watch this. You're a Breaking Bad fan, you watch this. You're a Wu-Tang fan, you watch this. I don't care. You find something that you're a fan of this movie, and you watch it and support it. Go rent this shit. We're gonna drop the trailer right at the beginning. Go rent Nobody. It's fire.
Dude, it's just freaking like the actors that they use. Like you said, Christopher Lloyd and RZA. Like you would never imagine all of them being in the same movie. Like working together like this. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible. Like it was all entertaining at the end of the day. Even RZA did a good job on this one too. His acting has gone a long way.
It's gone a long way. It's gone a long way.
Yeah, man. Like I didn't even think like his Iron Fist movie was gonna be that good, and it turned out to be, pretty good. So
yeah, 1 is pretty good. 2,
let's not talk about 2. Let's keep going. Anyway,
Nobody's really good.
But he did it was an effort. He tried. He tried. Let me say that. He tried. But one was dope though.
One was good. One was good. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, like everything is pretty like I didn't know what to expect with this because I knew it was Bob Odenkirk's first action. I knew that what we saw on the trailer and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to see how it did come together. So I will say, like some of those dramatic acting scenes in between the fights that carry it along. Like obviously his acting is like is good enough to do that because if you've seen him in other stuff, you already like know what he's capable of. He's probably one of the better actors out now. You know what I mean? And I guess that was what made him made it interesting for him to go into action. In my opinion.
Oh heck yeah, man! Shoot, and I like it. It just brings back the whole gritty action. You know what I mean? Like that is so missing in movies. The CGI. Age is getting old, tired, don't want to even want. I'm tired of watching another superhero movie where an actor or actress that don't even know what the heck they're doing, don't even know nothing about kung fu or martial arts.
Let me guess.
Somehow CGI make them learn it somehow.
Let me guess. Is it going to be the Iron Man 1 plot? Let me guess. A guy comes up and gets captured, and then they operate on him and give him some sort of superpower, and I'm guessing he gets tested by he has to test his mettle by a villain that he defeats in the end. Is it the plot of every Marvel movie ever, Mac? Is that what you mean?
Pretty much, man. Shoot.
You already know when they send you that title text like Fartville Phase 12 and you get the logo, you already know what the movie's about. It doesn't matter if it's Punisher or Moon Knight or Blade or anything that we like, anything that we don't like. You know what's going to happen in the movie now because they've made 45 movies with the exact same plot. And I will give Nobody kudos with that. Where like, yeah, it kind of does follow along like a basic kind of action revenge theme concept motif, but at the same time they switch up a lot of stuff too, right? The way the plot moved around, like the way he how he handled that first situation when he went rogue and did his thing, and then they threw him some curveballs that he had to readapt to. So it wasn't 100% predictable. Some different things did happen that were probably a little bit off the beaten path, which was cool to see that happen. Like Mac was saying,
even what you call like situations that you thought like, oh man, it's gonna be like another cliche type action scene or whatever. It just totally throws you off. Like, for example, you remember that car scene, right? Like the one where he was like in the trunk and all that.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
I'm not gonna talk about at all, but it totally threw a curveball right there. You know what I mean? On what happens, like you thinking like, he's gonna meet the bad guy, the big boss now. He's like, nah, not just yet.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what was so cool. I feel like there's a lot of good. Like I'm not. I think we did. We look up the director for this? I'll try to do that in a couple minutes. But there were a lot of cool scenes, like from that beginning montage, like we were talking about, to that first fight, to that scene you just mentioned, to the last scene, which I think is the best scene in the movie, which I think is the most well directed and originally edited, was just fire. So I guess we'll give our little Wu-Tang shout out. So spoiler alert, you can dip ahead if you need to skip this factoid. He's got his homie on the ham radio that he talks to, that reports in, and he follows some of the police scanner activity, so he's aware about some of the things that are going on. And eventually you do get to meet that character in the final fight, and as Max said, it's none other than Robert RZA Diggs from Wu-Tang Clan, the most epic actor in action history, and it really turns up the high octane with that last fight, because it becomes so insane. And I think we might have to do a couple spoilers on this fight, because we do have to talk about how insane it was. It was too nuts for us not to highlight it. But this is like scene of the freaking century right here. Shit is super nuts.
Man. It turned out the director's name is Isla Nightshower or something like that.
I'm looking at it right now. Oh, he did Hardcore Henry.
Shoot. Hardcore Henry was actually pretty good.
Fire, dude. I would have loved to have thrown down on that crowdfund. Say, yeah, man, I'm with this guy, Hardcore Henry, and nobody. This guy has me as a fanboy. So this movie amasses to the most legendary apex climax of action crime vigilante genre history, when Bob Odenkirk, aka Nobody, pulls up, and he brings Christopher Lloyd with him, who plays his dad, and Robert RZA Diggs pops out of nowhere with a red 70s freaking jacket and a sniper rifle, just icing people so bad. So let's break down this.
Just so you know, he's the brother-in-law also, so they're all like,
wow, that's even more. That adds extra sizzone on it.
Yeah, I mean, remember that one scene where they showed the picture of him with his son, and and the other kid, the other kid was actually supposed to be RZA when he was young. So
that's right. Yeah, they showed the old pictures. Yeah, so spoiler alert on that. Max. So more spoilers. So as you guys gathered, this amounts to an absolutely insane three-way shootout where they just like freaking have the craziest like Max Payne style slow-mo bullet time for the shots, and they just do some really sick acrobatics, and just a lot of really great movement. Just as Max said, brings you back to, I mean, a little bit more technology. There's probably some CGI in this scene with the slow-mos, but it's tastefully done. It's not like a freaking
slide.
It's not like a Technicolor freaking Avatar world, you know what I mean? Which are what the Marvel movies might as well be. It's just some really clean editing on some of the slow-mo, bullet time camera shots and stuff like that. Just some really good three-way stuff where they did a bunch of awesome creative stuff. And this guy, man, you could really see his directing. Like, Hardcore Henry was cool, but like, because it was stuck in that first person the whole time, a lot of the time you only got that same one angle. To see this guy actually break down a freaking shootout with three main characters and all those other things going on in the moment was just, man, some crazy stuff. And then RZA's using basically a bolt action sniper rifle. That was crazy. He was using basically a sniper rifle, close quarters, ridiculous. And then Odenkirk got some shit. Christopher Lloyd had like the sawed off shoddy, just like, oh my gosh, this scene just made me so happy. Any question I had in the beginning of the movies, guys, when I'm like, wait a minute, there's not really that much fights in this movie, you know what I mean?
You're gonna get a nice fair share of action, a nice slice of action in this one. So, like, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be left out of nothing. You're not gonna feel like, this movie left me with nothing. It's gonna leave you with enough.
Oh yeah, it's gonna leave you. You're not gonna, as Max said, you're not gonna be like wanting more. Like, if he took all the octane of every fight in freaking Hardcore Henry and put it into one fight and nobody, then that was this scene, because there's just like freaking guys coming from every angle, such a nuts. It's basically a warehouse that they just fucking melted to smithereens. It was crazy. It's crazy, man.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. I give it. It's definitely nutty, man. Especially when, like I said, from beginning to end. You know, especially at the end. You know what I mean, where they just turned it way up at that point. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Especially like this villain being the most, you know, gruesome, violent villain ever. You know what I mean? Yet, you know, someone like Bob Odenkirk somehow, you know, takes, you know, gets to him and all at the end of the day. So say that, you know, but yeah, man. I like to give my rating on this one, man, and
hell yeah, Sam.
You know, from action scenes to, you know, good camera work, especially with that bus scene and all that, to how the characters were acted out and all that, especially Bob Odenkirk's character.
Yep.
And, you know, having those cameos from RZA and Christopher Lloyd and all that, man. Evan, man, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 on this one, man. This is definitely something I enjoyed, man. It's
I understand.
Nice, good action movie to just sit, chill, have a beer, enjoy the carnage. You know?
Fry up some popcorn. And again, you know, let's not downgrade how good Bob Odenkirk's acting is. Clearly, he's a very talented dramatic actor. But so, you know, I think that's the other thing. You get both. You know, you could watch this movie with your girl, and if she's not looking to just see RZA and Odenkirk and Lloyd splatter guys across the warehouse, like, there's plenty of acting scenes in between that actually do have a rather intricate story. So it's like, that's kind of maybe what makes this different is, you know, Bob Odenkirk could do both. That's what's so cool to see this dude do action. It's got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Mac and I fixed that for you. I actually gave it a 8. You can see that. You can see that. You guys were slightly off on that one. You were a little low. Mac and I corrected that.
Yeah, what is wrong with you people, man?
Wait, all these action movies? Like, you didn't know what genre you were watching. Like,
it will never be the Avengers.
The ending was cool, but if they slowed it down a little bit, it would have been more my speed back. So,
oh my goodness, Marvel, man. Are you Marvel fans? I hate y'all, man. Shoot.
I don't know what you couldn't like about this movie. Like, literally every scene. This is one of those movies where every scene was better than the next. Like, and they really did increase the action and the intensity and the energy, and they really freaking blew the top off the freaking, you know what I mean, at the end of that final fight, man. It's just crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to story and doing the action, take liberty of both, and, you know, make it work, you know, instead of just making a mess of more action and not enough story to understand it, or more story and not enough action just to bore you out. Nah, man, you make it a nice blend, and then you have something like this. So,
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fire. Also, the sound editing was really good. That's one thing that a lot of times goes unnoticed on films, and you could really tell when people do a bad job on it, because like when the dialogue is too low and the background sound effects are too high and stuff, that's always super obnoxious for me. But not the case in this movie. This movie is fire. Go rent it. I rented it on YouTube. You can get it on Amazon Prime. I think it's in theaters. You know what I mean? If you can still do that, if you're scared, then stay home, hide with mommy, and stream it online. And
it's worth the money, y'all. It's worth the money.
It's a good movie.
Support these type of films, man, for real.
I would be cool to see Odenkirk do a sequel, or if this is just a one-off, then, you know what I mean, it'd be cool to see him do one or two more actions. You know, it's after this strong of an action performance, you know, Odenkirk is ready to be in the Expendables, in my opinion, which is crazy because, you know what I mean, he's only done one action movie. So I'm all in on Odenkirk action. So you guys could double me down, you know what I mean? So
yeah, he could pick up where Mr. Church and Harrison Ford left off. So shoot.
Pretty much, yeah. I think he could fill that void. Harrison looks a little tired, I heard lately. So that's all we got on this. Mac, we're trying to get you up to speed on some new things. We're going to have some new short films for you guys. If you guys want to troll Mac on Twitter, definitely do that, and make sure he gets Swamp Thing done. And
not funny.
We will see. I got to get Mac on Dark Side of the Ring. We also have Warrior coming up soon with myself and Gaz. So we got some new stuff coming for you guys soon. So
yeah, I got Warrior on my list right there, and
good.
I don't care, man. We have to do Mortal Kombat.
Not on my channel. That's Ancient Visions. Mortal Kombat was butt.
Yo, you gotta be ripped on, man.
Not for me. That's all. I'm gonna leave you up to that. If you are alive by the end of the movie and you haven't killed yourself, you can message me after that. Paradigm Review Show. We're out. 1.